Hi, I'm Jack, and this is Group 5. Nick, Owen, and I worked on creating this video for you. As a team, we decided to discuss about the importance of gun control in America and why we support it. So, it's no secret, over the last few decades, gun violence has increasingly gotten worse across the entire country. On the news, you hear tragedy after tragedy, and when will it ever be enough? Gun control and further legislation are the essential aspect of protecting our communities from these shootings from occurring in the future. You often hear opponents of gun control claiming that criminals will be criminals, they'll get their hands on guns, but that's just simply not the case. Instituting stricter gun control laws allow for these dangerous weapons to be completely removed from the population of available guns for even criminals per se. If weapons of war like semi-automatic rifles are not being sold to even law-abiding consumers across the country, it will become increasingly harder for these criminals to get their hands on the weapons. When the weapons are not legal anywhere in the country, the criminals will have to make such a higher amount of effort to smuggle them into the country and pay more. They're not there for them to buy. Effective gun control will eventually make these guns unaffordable for the average criminal in America to get their hands on. The 5 highest casualty mass shootings in modern America all have one thing in common, and it's the use of these semi-automatic weapons. So, although the U.S. has a long way to go with gun control, especially when considering the effects and the impacts of the Second Amendment, an assault rifle ban and a weapon of war ban can go a long way in curbing the violence. Semi-automatic rifles and assault rifles are just too powerful and too efficient for anyone in modern America to need. We're one of the strongest countries in the world and people are protected here. It's not like we're fighting for our lives. This ban will just go a long way in lessening both the casualties and the tragedies of the future and protecting the communities we're a part of and that we support.
It's important not only to look at the overall shootings and deaths, but also to see how gun control laws would affect Americans. Since 1980, there have been 112 mass shootings in the U.S. For our purposes, we'll use Congress's definition of a single incident where 3 or more people were shot and killed in a non-gang related event. People who don't support gun control legislation will always claim that they'll find guns anyway and they'll buy guns illegally. But research shows that 87% of mass shooters obtain their firearms legally. This could have possibly cut the number of mass shootings from 112 to just 15. Although the 15 is still 15 too many, it's almost 100 less shootings. This is hundreds or thousands of families who would still have their loved ones. Gun control laws can also bring peace of mind to children who grew up fearing guns or would see things on the news about mass murders and fear going into school. A child or teen is killed every 2.5 hours, and shootings are the leading cause of death in Black children in America. In a study by Lang and Selin, they found that background check requirements, assault weapon bans, and high-capacity magazine bans can reduce the number of mass shootings in America by only a small amount, but even that small amount still counts.
There's an increased need for new gun control laws now more than ever. It seems as if every day brings news about yet another death because of a firearm, or even worse, a large-scale mass shooting. Regulating who can and cannot purchase these deadly weapons is important to stopping that trend. Nearly 20,000 people died in 2020 because of gun-related violence, with another 24,000 using a gun to commit suicide. That is way too many people to be dead over loose gun regulations. Opponents of gun control argue that firearms are needed for self-defense, but victims of attack rarely use their gun in self-defense. For example, between 2007 and 2011, of the 29.6 million crimes that occurred, just 0.79% of the victims used a firearm to protect themselves. It is time to stop ignoring the obvious and start regulating who can and can't own these dangerous weapons.